Hey there, everyone. Um, I'm doing a live just because, visiting with others and a little one. You never know when you're going to get time. His sleep schedule's a bit crazy. Um, but I like my hat. But I had a good question. Um, I think it was Alan asked me something about cycle or an age or something like that. I can't remember it exactly. Um, and so I wanted to go through and explain age and cycle in this video. And, I was going to do a video, might as well do it live. It'll be up, whatever. Okay. This way people can ask something if they don't know, if I bring up something they don't understand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read a piece of God Speaks from Mayor Baba, and I'm going to explain the details of it sort of more in plain English. I mean, the way he writes is perfect, but I'm going to just make it so regular people can sort of get it. Okay, so there's a supplement in God Speaks, and I'm reading from the 1970 version, and so that's page 229, and it's numbered 28. There are different numbered parts of the supplement, which is in addition to the book and explaining stuff and so on, what was in the book. So, and this number 28 thing here is called Mayor Baba on the hierarchy. Okay, so I'm just going to read you this relevant information and decode it into English. So, and hopefully this answers the question. Okay. Mayor Baba says, quote, in each cycle of time, and then there's an asterisk. So I have to go, a footnote asterisk, and I have to go read the footnote now. In Vedanta, a cycle of time is called a yuga, and an age is called a kal. The Sufis call a cycle daor or zaman, and an age waqt. So different names I mispronounced. But I'm going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to start again and mention the footnote asterisk, but it's, it's in the middle of the sentence. So here we go again. Mir Baba says, in each cycle of time, which ranges, and in each cycle of time, that was the asterisk. Okay. Mir Baba says, in each cycle of time, which ranges from 700 to 1400 years, there are 11 ages of 65 to 125 years each. From the beginning of the end From the beginning to the end of the cycle, there are altogether 55 perfect masters, and that means each age, um, and again, it references the same footnote there about Vendata and all that, names of age and cycle. Okay. There are altogether 55 perfect masters, and that means each age has only 5 perfect masters. Okay. In the 11th age of each cycle, the avatar is also present. Besides the 55 perfect masters and the avatar, there are also 56 Mejubs in each cycle. These Mejubs, who experience a state of Phana are the sleeping or the inactive partners in the conduct of the divine sport of creation. And then there's a table in here and so on, and it goes on. And if you want to read more about it, it's sort of like breaking out different pieces of it. But this is actually enough written here. You should maybe, if you're really interested, continue to read that section and so on, and it'll help. But let's just go through this, okay? And basically, further he goes down and numbers the number of each, who's doing what on which plane, like there are 5,600 on the fifth and sixth between the planes. 5,600. On the second plane, 666. Third plane, 558. And it goes on, and, you read them all. Third plane, 558. Fourth plane, 56. Fifth plane, 656. Sixth plane, 56. Seventh plane, i.e. Mejub's in a body, they're 3. So they're not functioning. They're in a body, but they're not functioning, right? They can't talk or anything like that. Okay. They're just with God and the bliss. Perfect Masters, 5. And that's 7,000. And then it says the avatar in the 11th age of each cycle brings the number to 7,001. Let's read that again. The avatar in the 11th age of the cycle brings the number to 7,001. So, okay. Let's I'm going to unwind this. Okay. So, a cycle has 11 ages. Now, Mirababa has this, like, you can look it up. It's made by Ron O'Galey, quote, a painting made by Ron O'Galey, which obviously God made. Ron O'Galey didn't make it. Anyway, so it's this, like, tower, and it's the 11 ages. I decoded it as that, and you can go see it, and each age is different, and it's, like, basically sort of like 10 or 11 disciples basically looking inward at the cycle, Um, people have asked me, who are the perfect masters this time? And I'll tell you something about them. Well, let me finish up with this. Okay. So that means that there are 55 perfect masters, so they change every age. Understand? They change every age. Okay. There's a change. Every age, there's a change. And who is perfect master? Okay. So they change. So that means it starts off initially with 5 perfect masters, obviously in adult bodies, right? When the age starts, they're in adult enough bodies, understood? And they're running everything. There's nothing outside of what they're running. The script is already in place. Who plays what? That's already decided by God, and the whole thing is decided by God. They're just helping with the management of it, which means what? Help wake up the individuals that are scheduled to wake up to be perfect master next time. See? Um, and in addition to, if you read accounts of Meher Baba and so on, um, it says Christ, the avatar, comes, at the end, in the 11th age, at the end of the cycle, basically, and points everything out, and instead of because what they say is the avatar can do a push for everyone, tell everyone. But the perfect masters, they're picking out, they already know their role and so on, and who's going to come to them and be, they know what criteria to look for and so on, who's going to be in the next perfect master and stuff, take their place for the next cycle. I'll give you, how I decoded my situation, like my guru, a perfect master who's alive now, found me. He's born and raised in India. Found me um, in America as planned, and I listened to what he said, and he woke me up over time, not by telling me a single word of what I tell people. Now, he didn't tell me any of that. He just was very nice and very friendly and answered the questions that I had if he could. But he didn't really answer them directly. He didn't give me any knowledge per se. I would say, should I do this or should I do that? And he'd say, oh, you should do that. He wouldn't give me a reason. I'd be like, I'm in this predicament. What, one or the other. And I would just do what he said. And it would always lead me to, where I am now, which is, if you look into this list of 11 ages, and that's a cycle and everything, is anyone decoding this who's alive? Like, you can read some different parts of this in books and so on, some of it very wildly inaccurate, some of it perfectly accurate like this, but then not really understandable by the regular whoever reads this. So um so now we're in one age where, let's go back to the beginning of this, okay, and I'll explain our age based on these numbers and stuff. Okay. So what it says is here, Mirababa says in each cycle of time, which ranges from 700 to 1400 years, there are 11 ages of 65 to 125 years each. Okay, well we're in the one that's 65 years, aren't we? Because it's 64 years plus 1 day of, judgment or whatever. So and that day is 1,000 years, Judgment Day. So it's like 65 to you know what I mean? Like, if you're God, you see not just, you don't see a break in time with Judgment Day. No, that's included in each age. You see what I'm saying? There's going to be a reckoning, a Judgment Day after each age. Where, how'd you do? And so go to hell, go to heaven, and or come to God, and you're done. So this is explaining, basically that the five perfect masters have to change every cycle, and so they have to be chosen, and that's the way up and out of here. You see, is to get chosen to be in the spiritual hierarchy the next time and do your work, and then maybe you get out of here. I mean, you do get out of here if you do that work perfectly like you're supposed to do, and so on like that. Like, that's what my guru is doing, who's one of the five perfect masters who got me where I am. But is someone supposed to like wake up completely during an age, you know what I mean, and get consciousness of God outside the five perfect masters who come in with it? You know what I mean? They came in to the cycle of time in the beginning. They know everything, and they're given the powers and all this stuff. So, oneness with God, not with the other team, nothing like that. They understand everything, and they're equipped in every way to handle it by God. So the way choices can be made are like here. Mirbaba sits on top of the 11 ages of the painting. Okay, now that means he's in the last age. All right, so he's running them all. But I'm just saying, he is the one that picks the last stage kind of a thing because he's running. Okay, so, and it cycles down like Mirababa's at the top, and then there's a thinner sliver at the top, like it's a building mountain. Like each little tier's like like it's blocks, kind of like making a tower. And the top one is smallest, so that's the one in age we're in now, and that he's on top. That's the last one. That's the age. Okay, so that's where they are. That's where we are. No one else has decoded this. No one else will. No one's capable of doing this. Only myself. And so, what it's saying is, um, that there's a process of choosing in the spiritual hierarchy, but it's a different process when the avatar comes in the last stage at the top sliver right before Maribaba, right? That one's different because, again, it says right here, the avatar in the 11th age of each cycle brings the number to 7001. So I'm the only one that could, prove with information and with outcomes and all that I have Christ consciousness. No other human alive has done that, has, explained all this, has given a date for the end of time. Like, no one's even close. No one can be named. So the point being here is, I wasn't awake in the beginning of the age. You see what I'm saying? I come in and, paperwork says 1961 born, and so that would make me 8 at, I'm in an 8-year-old body at the beginning of this age, which means, oh, you have karma, right? You can't have it below age 8. So you're in the karmic body immediately. And what? Okay, so it's 64 plus 8, so that's 72. That's a lifetime, right? That's why it's called an age, a lifetime. And so it's on the lifetime of, in the last cycle, it's, that amount of time, 65 years, which is really 64, right? plus that 1,000 years or whatever, um, that I'm going to live. No one can kill me. It's impossible to kill me. It's not going to be possible. Anyone can try anything, and I want to get some video of it. But I'm just saying, I'm the 7,001, the one that comes in to the age at the end of the cycle, and I can demonstrate all the pieces of the puzzle and how it works. So no other human can decode it and figure it out. Only myself. So it was a good question. Whoever asked this on cycle and ages, I kind of maybe, oh, I remember it was in the classroom. And I answered, hey, what does it matter about the other ages and stuff? Like, you're in this one. But, when I decode it like this, you can see the importance of this particular age, it being the last one. Okay? So that's why I took the time to do this, because what I said still goes. This one's the one that matters because what? Let's add them up. Let's say 65 to 125 years, 11 cycles. Let's average 100 years each. That's 1,100 years of real time in here. And then there's 1,000 years, right, for each judgment day. So that's 11,000 plus 1,000. That's 12,000 in a cycle. That's it. I didn't look this up or anything. I'm just doing this real time, giving the numbers right now as, I know them. Because I'm answering a question of the servant of God, because I, have that consciousness to be able to do that. So I'm doing it because I was asked by someone that truly serves God. And that's the point of having an avatar in here. There has to be a way to get the real knowledge and get answers to questions so that you can have the answer and then base your actions off the truth. It's not possible before the end of the age, because all the perfect masters, man, they ain't say nothing. It's amazing, kind of the build up to this and how long it takes and everything. So that means you got to do 11,000 years to get back to right now. And I say you got, under 10 years to get it together. So you're going to do that. How do I figure out what plane I'm on? You should really read God Speaks and read about the details of the plane and what the details of what are experienced on each plane. You see? Um, but that's a good question. I'm going to answer it real. That information helps because that's just not available elsewhere. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, everything's going in 9 years anyway. Oh my God, I can't believe I got that book released at 30. Oh! All right, what plane you're on? Well, let me answer a few ways, Marion. That's a good question. Okay, when I got to the seventh plane, I was able to go, oh my God, and look backwards and kind of, oh, that's when that happened, and like I dated it, oh, that was the year and that was the event, I mean, I could see it backwards. Um, this is basically how it goes. From 0 to 1 plane, that's like you experience like Kundalini rising. Like, oh, I'm having like, you know, first of all, the first time it happens, anything you think you did touch God, but 7 veils away. You know what I mean? Like, you did feel God for the first time, and you got overwhelmed by it, and the aspects of what hit you the most are bliss. You're so blissed out from you don't even know what's going on. Um, Knowledge hits us the same point with a bliss and a power, a feeling of power, like you can't be destructed, or those are the 3 aspects that come with each plane. But each plane is a completely different experience, but it has some similarities each time. In other words, you feel more of each of those aspects of God each time you go up each plane. You feel more bliss, you feel more power, and you get more knowledge. You see, each veil is removed, so you feel more as you do each one. So, and it's always tied to an experience, and it's usually tied to an experience of near death or absolute catastrophic calamity, pretty much, because dark and light go together in duality. So, you lose your house from foreclosure and your world's ruined and so on, and you're with God. you're also going to have a corresponding experience and somewhere in that timing that's going to bring you up. Because if you're like, whatever, this is the world and I'm with God, I'm supposed to have this happen. If you treat everything like that, then you're being given this, what's the other team's slogan? Out of darkness, light. So you're beginning this trauma, this darkness, which pushes out, pushes out that veil. It like rips it, like rips it open, and you experience it as a trauma and leaving kind of like this past knowledge, this past lack of bliss, and all this stuff that you were told and programming and all this other nonsense that's ripped away because you get foreclosed on. You're like, what? This is all a lie. Like there's a space for truth in God to enter in because all your programming leaves. Something left. You see what I'm saying? Like Mirabelle says, oh, God only comes in when everything else is gone. Well, what does that mean? Oh, you had dreams and visions, and you're gonna have a house and a family, and no. All the stuff we're told that can happen here, which you know everything gets ruined by them. So once you realize, oh, that's all made up illusion programming to try and get us run on this hamster wheel of untruth, and then when you have this trauma, you're like that part you see is that's never going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, each time part of the programming is lost to a point in an action against you that you're involved in, and it's dramatic and it's life changing and all that stuff, and it's horrible and it extracts you from the hive and makes you not a worthy member of society, because you've had enough and you had an experience, and that has to happen. You get separated from this place. You're leaving, so each time this happens, it's more of a separation. So you have to go backwards and try and go, oh, when did this happen to me? You have to look to your own experience and, oh, I did have this weird thing and I got this bliss and that, you know what I mean? Like, what to, I guess I could use some of my own experiences to explain it, Mary, a bit. Uh, okay. Let's use this one. I lost my house in foreclosure, my family, and everything. That happened in like '07. you know, early. And the children that we had in our home went to the other parents because we didn't have a home anymore. And so my wife at the time, she had to go back to her mother, and same with me. My mother just, I was there a short time, and she just was like, she lives in a giant house and by herself, and it just wasn't and she has a big family and all this stuff, and uh it just was not working out for me to be in that space. And they just wanted me out of there, and it was a Sunday in February of '07, and it was snowing. It was like an unusual like little blizzard they were having that day. Super cold. And I was coming from North Carolina, and I didn't really have a coat or anything, or actual shoes or a car. I didn't. Like I had gotten driven there by my wife, but she's like, your family's crazy, and left basically at some point. And so I'm there, and everything, like I had nothing really. And I lay down on the couch. It was a very unusual experience. I'm looking at the clock. There was a digital clock on TV, and I could see it had, what the time was. And I just laid down on the couch there. No one was around. And I put these two fingers in my nose, and I put these my thumbs on my lips. And then I couldn't breathe. You know what I mean? Like air would have to go out of one passage, right? To breathe. And so the time was like one or something like that. And then I did that, and I'm like, like what, because everything was traumatic at that point. I was like, I just like, oh, let me pray to God, which I did, but I did something different. I just did what came into my mind to do. I totally left this place, you know, like I absolutely wasn't in my body. I was going over to God. And I come back into my body. I hadn't moved a lick, and it was 4 something, you know, in the afternoon. I hadn't breathed for the whole time. So, my heart didn't move, nothing like that. Like it couldn't. I had my face, like, I took a posture that couldn't happen. And yet 3 hours passed and I was over with God. And I got up from that, just on, what an experience. And as soon as I got up from that, uh, I was given a note by my family that said, you have 2 options. One, we give you $100 and leave right now, or two, you check yourself into a mental hospital. Those were the only 2 options I had. And so I called my guru. I'm like, oh, I got a letter, and I didn't have a car, shoes. I have flip flops. I didn't have a coat, and it's literally a blizzard outside. So I said, what should I do? He said, take the $100 and leave. He's like, pack your bag right now and leave. I was like, okay. So death sentence. So I drop the phone and I go just shove everything in my bag, and I zip it up, and I go to the door. I'm just gonna walk out in flip flops and, like, a t-shirt, and I'm gonna go into the blizzard. I'm leaving. Soon as I go to that door to leave, there's a cop at the door who puts cuffs on me, takes me, and puts me in a mental hospital against my will. At that moment, that was the fourth plane for me. So, because I could look back and number them. I'm just saying, like, that's, a big plane, you could go across the vast valley or some chasm or something like that. Like, you can't go back then. You hit Miracle Land. You can't go back to the hive. There ain't no way back. And if you don't have perfect mastery, you end up worse off than who sent you here. So you actually no one gets the fourth plane without somebody watching them over a perfect master. It's not possible. It's basically impossible. Cannot get there. No way, no how. So, and I took his orders right at that moment too. So I was good to go, you know? And yeah, I got shoved in a mental hospital, and, I never see my family since or nothing. Great, But you're, removed from the hive, due to your consciousness no longer fitting with theirs, period. It doesn't go, and really, it's like bees or ants. Like, if you're not a part of their hive, they just kill you, you know? So, and that's what they try and do, but God keeps you alive for a purpose. So, um, and that's why they hate me so much. I don't know what to, I mean, it's crazy. I can't, I mean, anywhere I go, it's indescribable. It's impossible to explain what I'm doing. So I'm moving to, like, there aren't that many new students for the school and stuff like that, just because we're getting near the end of this and everybody stole my stuff. I'm going to start suing all the people that stole my stuff. I'm going to go at them, and I'm going to chop them up. I'm going to chop them up with my, like, the pen is mightier than the sword. I'm going to chop them up with my pen machete. What? I'm going to slow down on business and go, chop them up because they're ruining people's lives. Who's going to stop them? The government, right? A lawyer? No. It's going to be me. Anyway, so I'm going to focus on that, and also face-to-face stuff, because they are so... I can't explain it. Like, what happens around me all the time, around all these things and everything. Like, I just got to start filming it and stuff. No one comes to film me, or, I'll just have to do it. Like I do everything. So, but that's what I'm going to get into. Just kind of like action-based stuff, face-to-face. I'm not... Am I Christian? No. Am I Muslim? No, I'm Christ. Say, that's not ego. Who else? Who else is? Who else got proof? Come on. In this age, it's me. You know, does somebody take my name at the next time, or do I take this name? Well, it's the same guy coming every time. You know, it's a weird position because I know, like, what's my greatest angst? How's that? I have to come back here. Like, I won the game, but I still have to come back and save you after again and do this again. You know, no one else has to do it again. That my shadow does. But even that, I guess that's why we're friendly after all this time, me and the devil. Like I'm not friends. I don't do anything over there. No, that's my shadow. You know, but we're friendly. Like like what? Can't do nothing to me that I don't have coming to wake me up. I can't not live the life of a human and get outside of karma. And how would I be telling anyone anything? I wouldn't have experienced anything anyone else has experienced. So what? No, no, I have to come here and do this and live it and win it and then say to everyone, this is what's going on. And then everyone alive gets to line up on one side of the truth or the other based on their actions, not on their knowledge, based on their actions. So, look to your life. I can usually sit down with an individual. I've been able to do this in the past, really, pretty much. I can pretty much do this with anyone. Honestly, I have for anyone face to face. Just tell you what plane you're on based on me talking to you and asking what experiences you've had and stuff like that. It'll just sort of be extracted. But there aren't many, you know, think about it. Really, on each plane, you know what I'm saying? Mirababa numbers the spiritual hierarchy, but now listen, isn't that mostly them? You see what I'm saying? Isn't that them? Yeah, they're holding places to see if anybody will come up the hierarchy. That's why um, Baba's quoted, "Hey, when I was Krishna, 17 people got God realized, no one else. Small number, you say, eh? But it's not a number, like in the other numbers. It's not like 7,000. It's not 55. It's not 5. It's, of the hierarchy, that's kind of them. Bex ridden. That's quite a name you got there. God is outside of planes, of course. Oh my God. Unless he's riding in the body to what? God isn't, you're not separate from God, so God's not going to have a separate experience in you. It's not like, oh, I'm coming in there and I'm going to do something else. Nah, I've been treated as miserably as anyone. Like, you know, I've never had the courts do anything they're supposed to or follow any laws. They just never do it. God steps in and has to save me every time. That's courts and stuff. Yeah. No, okay, Kelly. You know what? Let me see if this helps. You're right, first of all, but let me think about this because people pray to Jesus and Mary Baba, and hey, I do too. So I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is, but think about it. Who did Jesus pray to? You see what I'm saying? Jesus prayed to God. You follow? I pray to God. I pray to Jesus, Mary Baba, help me. But God, I sing a song, of the eight names of God. I chant God's name. Hari Para Matamaya Allah Ahurmaz God yes done Hugh and start it again. Right? Hari and so on. Because I'm not Christian, I'm not in religion, right? I'm prophet. I'm actually the avatar. I'm Christ. You know, I know you wanted it to be someone. Jesus is still coming. God is still coming. I'm not Jesus. No, 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 no. I didn't say that. I'm saying I'm the first one that got Christ consciousness in this game, in this age, you see, and I can tell you every detail of it, you see. I'm like Muhammad, you see. I'm not, who's Muhammad praying to? Allah, right? Who's Jesus praying to? God, same God, right? There's one God, it's God. Whatever name you got, well, there is one God. And we're all on the same goal, right? We're all supposed to get united, right? Uh, Union with God. We're not supposed to be united with the devil. We're supposed to be united with God. That's what's going on. Not for me, for everyone. So we're always in a state of advancement to try and get that. It can take, you know, just this one cycle is 11,000 years, as I just explained to you, at a minimum. That's a rough estimate based on just basic numbers. That was an estimate out, but you see, that's 11,000 years of doing this, and there's 10 years, less than 10 years, and I'm the only one that's coming ever in all that 11,000 years to be like, hey, guess what? Here's the truth, and wake up. There's not another one coming in this way. Do you see? Not with the Five Perfect Master and, hey, no. Do the numbers. This is a rare opportunity in this time. Who else is telling the truth out there? Who else has proof? No one. I've been saying, I've been out here for over 10 years on this YouTube, on YouTube and all on social, I've been posting proof for now more than 10 years. In that 10 years, has anyone come up and stepped up to the plate and done anything like I'm doing? That's 10 years. No. If so, name them. So, what about the next 10 years? You think it's going to be saying, who's going to show up? I'm here. Anyway, those people that say no, right? What proof have they got of anything? Where's your proof, right? Proof up or shut up. Post your proof of what you done for God. You save the information or you're not with God, right? Okay. So listen, I have some time because, my schedule, I'm visiting a grandson, they sleep in later stuff. So I'm probably, I may be able to do a Sunday show and may not, depending on my travels. I may travel back tomorrow. But I wanted to get this answer to this question out for people, okay? So, Salam. Salam alaikum, right? But that's the interesting thing to say. Salam alaikum. You gotta say God's name, right? Like, inshallah, that's according to God's will. That's one I would be saying all the time. Like here in the Christian, world, they screw you up by saying every prayer and then amen. That ain't Jesus. I have to point that out to everybody. You're Christian, right? Oh yeah. I tell them some truth. They're like, amen. I'm like, what the hell? What is, you just said the devil's name. That's not Jesus. What did you just say? They're like, amen. I'm like, why you say that? We were with Jesus. Wait, that's not your God's name. What are you doing? What are you doing? So, salam, I know you meant that well and so on, and I appreciate it. I know its meaning, but I'm also always trying to guide people. What do we have? We don't have anything else. We have God's name, and we don't have a single other thing. We don't have anything else. What else? You name something we have to get to God. Well, I don't know of it. No, we have, like people who are already waking up to give us the answers. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, really, what's the one tool that I was saying you to and everyone to, because it's the only thing God gives us, his name. God's name. God. God, Allah. You gotta use it or else who's listening? No one. You didn't plug into to God. Hey, I'm talking to you. God's like, I hear my name. I hear it. And then I hear any passion in that name. I hear any love in that. I didn't hear any fear. I mean, fear the government and all that crap. Are you shitting me? Like, I'm just saying, if we have a God that starts and ends ages and cycles, and I just read it to you all of a sudden. You don't fear a power that has that. What? You don't fear yourself to be like, how am I going to get this right? You need God's help. You need to scream his name and get help. or else you have no opportunity to do anything. Okay. All right, that was a good question, Alan, that you had, and I kind of wanted to fill it in there. All right, I kind of just had the moment to do this. Okay, thanks for everyone's feedback. Age and cycle. Who else could say this? I'm just saying. Right? What's the goal of Christ? Send everyone to hell. Why? I've had enough. This is the truth. You're not listening? So, Sodom and Gomorrah, later for you. All right, everyone. Talk to you soon. Ages and cycles. How do I turn this? Ages and cycles. Have a great day now.